welcome back to Cosmo Muse Tarot. This reading is going to be all about the outlook for you in May 2022. A little bit about the astrology before we dive into what the cards say are we will be initially in Taurus season, which is all about our senses and connecting to the 3D world, what we want to cultivate, how we want to touch the matter of life and mold it and find a sense of value and, you know, all those beautiful sensual type things. At the same time, we are entering eclipse season in May. So that means a little bit of some wild card things are probably coming up, some endings, beginnings, my thought is there might be an exaggerated sense of spring cleaning, especially in that physical sense, your spaces, the things you possess, you own, your environments, just really kind of purging out things that feel stagnant, things that feel old, making room for new impulse, new passion to arise around, you know, your creature comforts, what you like to surround yourself with, what you find beautiful, what you want to value in life. So we are going to pick 4 piles for you to choose from for your May. But before we get into that, I just want to state that I'm also, before I get into each pile for the reading, so right after the intro and before I break down the piles, I am going to do a by zodiac sign reading that's just sort of more rapid fire, a couple minutes for each sign of a particular focus that might feel important for this month. So I suggest watching that before your pile. So once you get to your pile, you already have sort of an emphasis that you can watch for little clues in that reading, for signs, for confirmation about things that might be important in combination with your zodiac sign and the pile you picked. So trying to make it a little bit more individualized in that way, which I think will be really cool and fun. So let's move on to the 4 piles. We're going to pick a I Ching hexagram card for each one. So we have mutual attraction with the clear quartz as pile 1. Hold the card up for you. Really pretty night sky with stars. These cards are really hard. They're big and stiff and they're hard to get my hands around, so I'm just sort of shuffling so much, I'm just sort of feeling into them and stopping where I'm feeling it. Youthful Folly with turquoise. Here's your card. Sort of some fun, vibrant, bright colors for pile 3. This card's gathering together. This is a pretty watery type card. And the flower agate. And for pile number 4, gentle penetration. Feels sort of breezy to me somehow. And then with the Sunstone. All right, before you pick your piles, or maybe you already have, but if you have not, this is a great time to take a couple of breaths. Take a big one in, hold it at the top, focus your gaze between your eyes with them closed, sort of to the third eye point, and then do a big exhale out loud. open up your crown chakra for a little bit of divine guidance and inspiration. And this would be a good place to pause this and feel into which pile is calling you in. If you need a few more breaths, and if you need more time, yes, this is the point to pause. Otherwise, I will see you first in your zodiac sign reading. And this is by sun, by the way. Some of you maybe have a lot of astro knowledge and are wondering if this is rising sign, sun sign, what it is. Sun sign. Go by your sun sign with the zodiac readings. And then jump to your pile once you've done that. All right, I will see you in your readings. Welcome to your May snapshot, Aries. We are going to pull just a couple of cards and roll an astro dice to get sort of a main thread or theme that might feel important or prominent, or just be in your psyche as creating sort of scenarios in your life. So we have illumination. This card. Imam Kolai. And your 7th house. So for Aries, for you guys, there is going to be some aha moments, some inspiration, some clarity coming through around how relationships in your life and your home are interacting. So a few ways this may play out. Maybe you're really wanting to balance your home in terms of aesthetic, creating a beautiful aesthetic environment in your home, or that relationships in home might feel very important this month, a little extra attention and TLC in terms of not just potentially romantic partners, but any individual as well as yourself in the house. There, I think, is going to be some calibration, potentially some moments initially of conflict, but if that comes up, it's more as like, yeah, trying to find, as I said, the calibration, some sort of alignment, some sort of attunements who bring harmony into the house and make sure the way home environment is structured is nourishing relationships. And some clarity is coming through this month around that. Okay. Taurus, you are up. We're going to pull a couple of cards for you guys to get a snapshot of May for you, a particular focus that may feel important or have a lot of energy around it this month for you. The sun, beautiful. It is your month. We are in Taurus for a good chunk of May. And there is going to be a solar, specifically a solar eclipse on your sign, kind of bringing in endings and beginnings. As I said in the intro, that's more pronounced for you guys because the eclipses are, well, the solar eclipse is in your sign. And blessings, beautiful. And then let's roll a dice. 7th house, so relationships. There's a lot of alignment coming in relationships and just feeling of blessing, feeling of, I definitely feel spring energy with this blessing card. So maybe some new energy flowing, some new vitality, some new curiosity, some new flirtation flowing in your relational territory. So to me, this might even indicate that the lunar eclipse, I think it's on May 16th, could be important to you because that's going to be in your 7th house of relationships, and it's bringing something fruitful and whole and karmically balanced into your life. Okay, Gemini. This is going to be a quick little outlook, a main focus for the Geminis in our chart. Your solar season comes in on May 20th, so you may feel, we'll see what the cards say. Yeah, a lot of time for self needed. Okay, and then we'll roll a dice. Whew. Yeah, I mean, getting solitude in the first house for you guys, a lot of time and space to yourself is needed to sort of get back in touch with your own boundaries, your own passions, a focus on who you are, what you need, what you want. And then this trine, sextile, positive energy flowing towards you. There's support around if you're looking for it. Things should flow a little bit easier. In certain ways, I do want to say that your ruler Mercury will be in retrograde starting on the 10th, which also adds in a layer of always feeling some recalibration happening around your sense of self, because it's going to be partially in your sign in Gemini, the early degrees of Gemini. It will travel back into Taurus at some point, but initially the 10th through, I don't know, at least a week or so, it will be in Gemini. So I definitely feel that need to kind of find space, to find your personal sense of centering, and to identify like where there's something that needs to be recalibrated, where there's something that feels stagnant and old, that feels like it's ready for an update. There's some positive flow of energy and support for you to do recalibration, to kind of toss the old and update, take some new classes, just little rewiring taking place, I think. So good time to tune into who you are, what you want, with a little bit of space. All right. Cancer, you guys are up. This is just a quick snapshot of energy around you, a main theme around you for the month of May. So stillness. Beautiful. I think Cancer always appreciates a little bit of stillness, since your ruler, the moon, is moving all the time so quickly. I think when you have moments of stillness, it probably brings some peace you are desiring. Oh wow, Pluto. Okay. And the 5th house, so creativity. There is definitely something you're investigating with this stillness coming in conjunction with, well, not technically conjunction in terms of like planets conjunct, but in conjunction with the card Pluto and a rebirth. It's definitely an investigative quality coming through here, and finding stillness is going to allow you to do this deep dive into your psyche and investigate what your heart wants. With the 5th house, it's what your heart wants, ways in which you want to feel creative but maybe have felt stuck in that. This stillness and investigative work will help you to see deep down where there might be a leak or a clog in terms of how your creativity is flowing, and being able to have a rebirth this month because of the witnessing and observing you have participated in and taken steps to do. So yeah, really cool. By the end of May, I think, at least by the end of May, a feeling of rebirth in your creative sphere. Okay, Leo, your turn. What is sort of a main theme or thread that will be important for you guys? Well, 2 wanted to come out for May. We have transformation and security. Aquarius with collaborate. And the 10th house of career. So your position, some responsibilities, some duties, your authority is definitely at a focal point right now. And the way you are able to feel like you're backed by a network, an industry, the populace, tapping into collective consciousness, experimentation. There's something sort of different and unique and wanting to shake things up in terms of how you hold authority and responsibility, or what you're holding it around, why you're holding responsibility. You may have some questions as to why you're doing what you're doing. And I think those questions are great to explore. They can bring sort of transformations that make you feel more secure in terms of your soul. So I don't see necessarily this as like a complete, total shakeup in terms of what you're doing. Per se, like if you're a psychologist, it's not like you're going to drop being a psychologist and become an author of fantasy fiction. This is more sort of questioning within the realm of what you're doing. Maybe it's changing your expertise. So maybe as a psychologist, someone might be working as a couples counselor, but that's starting to feel still and sort of rotting inside it. Something's just like not old, it's old and tired, and something's rotting in it, which is undermining your sense of security. So it's a month to sort of shake up. Maybe there's a different method you want to learn and certify in couples counseling, just to continue with that analogy, or completely changing to doing more of group therapies or individual therapies, counseling. As the analogy, this obviously could be any kind of career, but as an example, just a little bit of a shakeup to help bring more energy and more alignment with what you are dedicating your authority to, what field you're in. Okay. Next up is Virgo. So for you guys, just an added thing, your ruler Mercury is going to be retrograde from the 10th on in Gemini and Taurus. So we'll start off in Gemini. So a little bit of recalibration is to be expected. Time to sort of slow it down a little, update things, let things go, just whatever seems to be wanting to recalibrate, rewire in you. It's a beautiful month to engage in that kind of stuff, take different types of classes, shake up how you've been doing things, listen more to others. Yeah, trust, finding trust with others. That's definitely trust in yourself, establishing trust with others. Who can you trust? Who do you trust? How do you build trust with others? How do you build trust with yourself? Uranus change. Okay, so that's why to me trust might be a big theme, is maybe there's a lot of change coming in for you this month, especially with Mercury retrograde, like recalibrating, definitely bringing changes to both how you think and potentially to income, with Taurus being involved. So yeah, really realigning, finding your alignments of how to trust the changes and how to trust who to trust in the different new things coming about. 11th house. So potentially this is revolving around the industry you're in. Maybe you're totally changing your industry, or maybe you're reaching, using your voice to advocate for a cause, or generally speaking to a the populace, the tapping into the collective unconscious. But something around, networks, groups of people, the industry you're in. There's a change coming, and I think overall it's to trust the change, but with that trust, it means you need to do some work on trusting yourself and building new trusts with new others. So kind of cool. Seems like most of these, there's just been a lot of shakeup coming in. Okay, Libra, you guys, this is a mini read on a main theme potentially coming through for you in May. Miracles, beautiful. I mean, who doesn't want a miracle? Message, Mercury. So Mercury's going to be in retrograde, so it might be a message from someone from your past or something from your past coming back that will feel very miraculous. And the 11th house, so groups. This could be a message about a group that you've been interested in, about friendship groups, about industry groups, about generally messages from the collective out there, something that feels miraculous in the way you're connecting with the populace. But yeah, I mean, it could be a little different for each of you. For some, it might be messages within certain networks you're involved in, messages from your industry, messages from the general public, or about a cause. But the message is going to feel very miraculous and very favorable and exciting. Okay, Scorpio, your turn. This is a quick mini read of a main theme that will probably be around you for a chunk of May, if not all of May. Wonders. Let's see. Get the Astro card. I'm fumbling everything. So you guys might be a little bit nervous. You do have the lunar eclipse in your sign this month on the 16th. So yeah, the 6th house for sure. I was just going to say there might be something about your daily processes, your work, your daily rhythms, where you're finding a new quality of soulfulness and depth and nurturance, and allowing yourself to be curious, to explore, to find that inner child quality of everything feeling wondrous and in awe of, you know, all the nature and the symbols of the living earth kind of thing. That's what's coming through to me, and like really seeing how your life is systemized in a way that makes you feel secure and brings you a beautiful foundation. So that's really beautiful, you guys. So this lunar eclipse in your sign on the 16th, I think, is really going to, yeah, bring some new qualities of depth into your psyche and your life, and the day-to-day somehow really affect your day-to-day processes. Okay, Sagittarius, you guys are up. This is a mini reading around a main sort of thread or theme that's going to show up for you during May. Community, that's beautiful. And Chiron, healing. Okay, let's roll the dice. First house. Beautiful. There's something, some group work you're doing, some support from some sort of community coming in that's going to sort of be like a witness for you, that will help you to explore and reflect to you certain things about yourself that maybe are hard to see without others participating in some feedback or some holding space for you, and that will really open your eyes to wounds that you possess, that you're seeing anew with fresh eyes through this community around you, that has a lot to do with your sense of center, your sense of self, and being able to find certain boundaries you've needed, certain centering, clarity of passion, clarity of impulse, clarity of your own center of being. Something's, yeah, really being held for you, reflected for you through community to heal something about this. So that's gorgeous, really gorgeous. Okay, Capricorn, your turn. We are pulling out a mini reading that is showing a main prevalent thread for you in May. Release. Ninth house and exploration. And the fourth house of home, family, security, self-care. So to me, this is indicating that you're surrendering into some bigger energy around you this month, that whether you physically go somewhere or just in your imagination, in your mind, your perspective, your boundaries around home are really going to open up and expand and widen and broaden, but you have to trust this. You have to release into this broadening and push your comfort zones a little, because something bigger, something more fantastic and grand is trying to come through in terms of how you're building your home. So that's not surprising to me with the amount of energy that's in Pisces right now, which is your fourth house. So yeah, really trusting the cosmic, the bigger order of things and events, and allowing it to push your comfort zone to expand your sense of what home is or could be in your life. Really cool. Lovely. Okay, that was Capricorn, so now we're on Aquarius. Let's see, so for Aquarius, you guys, this is a mini reading showing sort of a main thread that's coming through around your month of May. Flexibility. Series, one of my faves. And the 10th house. We've had a lot of 10th and 11th houses. Okay, so for you guys, my thought in this is that there's a lot of energy around needing to be productive, feeling a certain duty or responsibility to streamline your life, to make it effective, to make it productive, to make it fruitful. But that means being willing to let go of certain rigid ways of how you've been doing it, to bring in new alignments, to bring in a new way of structuring, specifically something around your career. This feels like this deep need to try to be different, try to experiment. You know, you're Aquarius, so you're already good at questioning and experimenting, but specifically you are a fixed sign, so you can be stubborn, and this energy is indicating that with a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more listening, a little bit less rigidity in how you want things to structure in your life, how you hold responsibility. There's something more fruitful, more productive, more flourishing coming in, but you're going to need to loosen up your stubbornness a little bit, and listen more, compromise more, cooperate more, and something a little bit more fruitful, specifically around career position in the world, has the potential to come in. So that's really great. All right, Pisces, last ones. This is a mini reading for you guys around sort of like a main thread that will be felt in the month of May for you guys. Openness. Well, you guys are already the most open sign, so not a tough ask. That aligns beautifully. I feel like this card wants to come out. 10th house. Oh my gosh, so many of you have had 10th house, whether it's been in the dice or something in the cards. And so many 11th. Okay, it's really in the air. Things. Okay. Anyway, for you guys specifically, there is an alignment taking place in terms of the authority you have, the position you've cultivated and created in the world, reaching a much broader audience this month. And it's saying to be, to me, I feel like this is saying to be open-minded, like maybe there's some fixed ideas of the market, the types of people, the realm or sphere of influence that you want to hold, who you're trying to attract to you as like either clients or customers. But by being more open-minded and letting the people who come to you inform you about who's desiring what you have to offer, you're going to open up to a much broader audience and much more connectivity and popularity through switching the perspective of going after a specific market and watching what kind of market comes to you. So I hope that makes sense. Rather than you determining who your market is, paying attention to the market coming to you and adjust to that and listen to them and grow based off of that. So, all right, this is the end of the mini readings per sign. Time to jump to the pile you chose, which you can use the timestamp in the description to jump there. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile one. Welcome to your May outlook. So to start, we're going to do a couple of cards to give sort of a big picture, main general overview of the month, the main theme for you guys. So the card that I used to, oh, and this is your stone, by the way, the clear crystal quartz. If this is your pile, that's the stone you picked. So the card I used to pick the piles, or to define the piles, is the one that I want to use in terms of this general overview that is indicating something about the environment for May for you. So the happenings, the events coming in, how things feel generally, the kinds of scenarios playing out. And getting the mutual attraction card to me is indicating that whatever is your main point of focus or the things you're thinking about that feel important to you, that you need to relax around that, because this has immense attractor energy. But if you try to force it or control these attractions coming in, this is like mist to a mountain. If you're trying to force something or control it, it won't take place in the way it could. It won't be as favorable. So this is a card giving advice that you should make your intentions, be clear about what you're trying to draw into you, and then relax about it and let something about this be natural. Let things organically unfold. When things are indicating to be more assertive, be more assertive. When you feel like you're hitting your head against something, to pull back. So really using those subtle cues and clues from your environment of when to push and when to recede, will really help this attractor energy bring in the things that you really care about this month. So you may look at the zodiac sign that you have, and maybe whatever that reading was about is what's having this attractor energy around, or it could be everything in your life is sort of having this attractor energy coming through. Okay, so that's your environment, which is really beautiful, by the way. And we're going to pick an animal card to show the attitude, your inner state, your psyche, what energy you're coming into the month with and working with in general. The Rabbit. So definitely some fears coming through here, and potentially the guidance that comes through for this is to think about the things you want, to think about things, play out scenarios in terms of them going right, instead of playing out fears, ruminating about fears, cycling fears in your mind. Because there's such an attractor relationship around you, or energy around you, if you're focused on fears, that's what you're going to attract. So this is saying, you know, the rabbit, on top of being a little bit skittish and fearful, is very fertile. The rabbits produce a lot of offspring, so that could metaphorically be projects or just being productive in general. So think about the things you want to produce. Think positively about what you want to have feel fertile in your life, and that's what will that's the attractor energy that will come in, that will be supported, is around fertility versus fertility. That's not a word, but that was funny. Okay. All right. So from here, we are going to look at the 4 main categories of life per Cosmomuse. So we're going to use some tarot for these. The first category is your sense of self. A second category is your security and home and maturity. The third category would be relationships. And the fourth category would be whatever responsibilities and position you are holding in the world. So that, you know, could be career, but it could also be just general duties you have, whether that's, you know, toting kids around to different things, being on different committees, being a student, whatever your particular duties and responsibilities are, is what that fourth category will talk about. Okay, so diving into your sense of self, let's get a little bit of a, I feel like that card wants to say, stay. A little bit of a picture of what's going on here. These cards are so slippery, you guys. But I love them. They're very narrative driven because you can sort of stack them. They're transparent, so you can stack them and read them in different ways, get a different image that comes through when you stack them. Okay, I want that. The Fool, Temperance. Wow. 3 major arcanas here. Your sense of self, your passions, your drive, your sense of identity. These are all very important things this month. It's huge for you, and it's all very positive. So again, just like I talked about with the rabbit, to think about things in a hopeful way, to think about what you do want, and optimism around having those wants met, those needs fulfilled. The star is saying that a new hope is coming through. So that's a good sign to me that generally in your sense of self and your centering in who you are, there's a renewed sense of hope, which shows that the rabbit should have your attitude as the rabbit should have an easier time plugging into fertile thoughts versus fearful thoughts, because there's something around you very deeply restoring a sense of hope and something about the future that feels exciting, revitalizing, refreshing. And then we've got the Fool here, which is a new path. So something new is coming in. That's the attractor force, this hopefulness, the revived sense of hope in your future, and holding those thoughts favorably is attracting absolutely a new threshold, a new path, a new aliveness that, is just super exciting. So something around how you see yourself, how you feel passion and feel drive. There's just so much beautiful, renewed, revitalized, fresh energy coming in here. And it's also saying that there's something in you. I think these are coming in because you've worked really hard on making your rhythms, your thoughts, your rhythms, your emotions very harmonious. You've put a lot of work into understanding yourself, understanding the types of perspectives you have in life, knowing how to work with them, knowing how to work with your energetic body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual self, and really finding this beautiful fluid flow. And that's at the root. That's at the root of all this beautiful energy coming in around how you're just connecting to yourself in general, how you feel about yourself, how you're able to motivate yourself, what's motivating you, what's driving you. There's something just really gorgeous coming through here. And then if we stack these, it feels like the body of this butterfly sort of takes on a star quality, and it's standing right at the pinnacle of this rainbow, mastering all sorts of elements and really being seen. You're who you are, what you are. You're seeing yourself as a star. You're seeing yourself in general, hence the world is seeing you. This is so beautiful. Let's get a couple of confirmation cards about this. Yeah, Two of Wands. This, just like the Fool, this is like a new threshold. Let's just do one more. This feels like a very clear message. I don't need too much, but just anything else that Spirit wants to add. The Tower. Yeah, don't fear the Tower. I don't mind seeing the Tower. It means that you're creating a new order. So allow old, stagnant boundaries, thoughts, connections to who you are that no longer are aligning with yourself. Let them fall apart. A whole new order, a new threshold is coming. Let the past be the past and look towards the future. So exciting. This is really, really, really powerful energy for you guys. All right, let's look at home, family, self-care. Let's see, we'll put those there. They're so slippery. So we've got a Queen of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Hermit. Okay, so in your family sphere, in how you're deepening into life, connecting to a sense of maturity and a direction, how you are caring for your home, caring for your loved ones, caring for your own soul and self. A little bit of space is needed here, to be honest. There's something that you're trying to connect to in terms of your particular instinct that's unobstructed by any outside thought, unpolluted by any outside media expectations, norms, or something you're trying to find that's very particular to you around how you need to either cultivate your home, cultivate family, or cultivate something about your own maturity and direction in life, sort of like how you see yourself as a contributing human being. And it's saying that there's probably some traditional, it doesn't have to be a religion, but some sort of tried and true traditional belief structure, religious structure, group in general that you're a part of that helps to, that has a lot of deep roots in your foundation. And it's okay to seek wise guidance. Seek anyone that, if there's anyone in your life that you feel has some wise guidance for you, this is a beautiful time to tap into that. At the end of the day, take in what you want and leave what you want. Not everything that is told to you by this counselor, mentor type person or thing. It doesn't even have to be a specific person. Maybe it's something that, like a book that you've connected to, that you were drawn to, that has a lot of perspective about something you're trying to connect to in yourself. Take what connects and leave what doesn't, because this needs to come from your own instinct. Really trust your instinct about what you receive and what you need to say no to. But at the end of the day, by doing a little bit of seeking and taking some time for yourself to figure out how this connects in you specifically, this, just like that sense of self, what's driving you, how you see yourself, there's a new spark coming through. Oh, I love when we stack these. That's gorgeous. Yeah, something's being illuminated into your center, your fiery center, and it has the potential to help you grow something about your life, about your maturity, about your home and family into a very, very strong, long-lasting tree, some kind of legacy even. And it's just really, really gorgeous. Yeah, okay, let's do a couple of confirmation cards. Wow. Beautiful Four of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. Wow, you guys have a great reading, I just have to say. This is celebration. I really think a lot of you might be finding a new home, something very different than where you've been or what you've been experiencing, or something in your home atmosphere is really shifting, or you're really connecting to a soul tribe and feeling celebrated by, as if you've arrived and they've been waiting for you and they're so excited and there's this welcome party for you. Whatever the scenario is, whether it's a move to a new home, welcoming new family members, or really aligning with soul tribe, soul people, soul. I know that the next pile we do is about relationships, but this could even indicate some sort of relationship or marriage that brings a deeper sense of foundation and depth and security into your into your soul area. And yeah, the reason why I'm really feeling like there's something new coming in this, the Wheel of Fortune is it's like turning a corner, a new chapter is coming in. And it's really, really beautiful. Really tap into, take advantage of this energy this month. There's something you can really mold around how you're stabilizing your life, how you're deepening your life, how you're contributing as a human, and essentially how you're creating your foundations and home is just spectacular, and it's coming from a very instinctual place, and because of that, it's designed very specifically for you. So wow, so great, you guys. So much fresh energy in this reading, which it surprises me and it doesn't. There is a, eclipse season does tend to bring in endings and beginnings, but there's also the Mercury retrograde, which sort of is a recalibration process, which I guess can also do that. Okay, let's look at relationships, harmonies, how you balancing life. So you have Knight of Wands, more fire energy. Knight of Swords. So expansions, really and then 7 of coins or discs. So yeah, a lot of very brave energy here, both in action and in mind. A lot of bold thoughts, a lot of putting things into motion. And there may be, whether this is coming through you channeling very brave, bold energy to expand or approach relationships, or if there for some of you it might be another coming into your life that has very, I don't want to say like young energy, that would be a little bit more of a page, but like young adult energy energy that's still sort of got a little bit of show and pizzazz and courage and cockiness that's coming through. So either in your relationship someone is coming in like this, or something coming out of you that is making relationships in your life very exciting. That's the biggest word I want to say that comes through here, is a lot of excitement in relationships. So far, the other 2 areas have had a lot of major arcana cards, and we don't have this here, so I don't think this is as big of an energy or concern in your life right now, but there is, these court cards indicate a lot of people coming in. There is a lot of activity. I just don't think it is like of the most important concern for you. But there is excitement to be had in relationships, in the way you're harmonizing your life, in the way you're relating to people, and a lot of fun to be had. At the same time, let's put these together and see what happens. So at the same time, it's like you're planting a lot of seeds in your relationships. There is something young, there's something fresh, there's something exciting. The fruitfulness of what you're initiating, what you're planting, cultivating this month won't be seen for a little while, but it is an important month to make intentions, plant seeds, initiate things with others, and there's a lot of energy to do that. Okay, let's get a couple of confirmation cards. Page of Swords, very young energy here, so it just feels fun to me. That's really what I want to say. Ooh, except for 3 of Swords. Okay, a little correction. It is possible for some of you that, to me, this is specifically if you're dating and single, that it's a month to have fun, to not attach too much to anyone or anything in relationships. That if you get too serious too fast in some sort of relational setting, not all is as it seems. And that is something I was wondering where the retrograde and the drama of eclipses and retrograde were going to come through, and we're seeing it here a little bit. This is a recalibration month. It is not a time, any new person that comes in relationally, I wouldn't expect them to be something that's a long-term situation. Don't get attached to things. If you're already in a relationship and you feel that unsurety of someone's maturity level, you're probably right, and it could sort of blow up a little bit this month. I'm not going to go as far as to say a breakup, but there needs to be some recalibration. There needs to be some serious conversations around maturity levels, if that makes sense. If you're in a stable relationship, to me, this is saying that the seeds you're planting right now and the hopes you have together, not all of these seeds are going to take. So don't be too attached to the seeds you plant at the moment. Have fun with them, dream a little, enjoy the excitement of planting lots of new things and ideas just because it's exciting, but maybe don't expect all of the seeds to produce what the intended dream is with the seeds. I think a couple of them will come through, but I think about half of them are going to fall through and half of them will take, if that makes sense. Okay, let's move to the last category: career, work, duties, responsibilities, whatever that is to you. Student, mom, taking on the role of helping everyone, professional, whatever it is. Yeah. Okay, Two of Wands, which I think we saw in that first house. So that to me is a clue that something about your drive, your sense of self might be focused here on career area or responsibilities, and that's maybe where a new path is coming through quickly. Things are landing quickly for you here. Yeah. That will be very fertile, very soft, very welcoming, very productive. This is the fertility in the rabbit they're calling to me here. So a new threshold is being found. Rapid, this is going to happen quickly, whatever it is. So it might be just developments within already established roles, or this could be, and when I say a new development, like I really mean a new development, not just sort of like a new project, but like a new direction within your role or your duties, or it could be an actual new role or duty in the world. And something about this is coming fast, and something about it is very welcoming, very fertile, very productive, and very it will bring you the financial foundations that you are worthy of, that you deserve, which is so beautiful. Let's put these together and see what happens too. I love how these layer. Yeah, I mean, not much more that I want to add with the layered picture. But yeah, I mean, as a narrative, it's like you're entering, the new threshold you're entering is just like a paradise situation, and you hit the ground running. You enter and immediately you're off and going, and sort of like have a direction. You know what you want, you know where you're going, you know what you need to do, you know your role, you're effective, you're capable, and everything's just fertile and enjoyable at the same time. So congratulations on that. Very, very exciting, very beautiful energy there. And with, again, just bringing back up the Two of Wands, we also saw in the pile around self and drive. So this feels very important. It's what you're feeling driven towards. Okay, a couple confirmation cards that just popped right on out. Three of Cups. This is your soul tribe. We talked about in the foundations of your life, really connecting to a soul tribe. So that might also harken back to what this role is, or a new direction in your role. That that might be what that's about, is feeling really connected to your responsibilities and the people you're around due to those. There is some perceived competition here, but it's only perceived, it's not actual competition, so don't stress. That's, again, getting back to the rabbit. Don't hold fears about this role. It might be something you really want. For a lot of you, I feel like it might be something you're interviewing for, like a new job, or trying to get into a college, applying for something or a course. And yeah, don't hold fears about this. Know that it's fertile and know that it's yours. And, put up your defenses and take it seriously and show that you're taking it seriously, but hold energy around it of optimism and beauty, not of fear or am I worthy, or what if I do get it, then what? I'll be, that imposter syndrome thing. Am I capable? Erase those fears, only hold positive outlook. Hold up your defenses, show yourself as a capable competitor, and yeah, it's just a really beautiful alignment. Definitely a lot of, again, similar to the relationship sector where I was saying seeds being planted right now, not all of them are going to take. There's a similar thing here. Because there's so much fertility in this new threshold, it may feel initially like there are a gazillion things that are really going to take off for you, like we see with the Eight of Wands. The reality, when things settle a little bit, is half of the things are really fertile for you, not all seven. So 3 to 4 of the initial things that feel fertile to you, or whatever half is, half of the things are actually going to turn out and lead to beautiful things and really take for you, and half of your hopes and intentions may be false gold, may not turn out to be what they appear to be, which is fine. A lot of times when we have too much of a good thing, it really spoils us, so it's okay to limit, to focus, to pick and choose, to trust your intuition, even if, like in this cup, maybe you're initially going to be like, well, obviously I'm going to pick the cup with all the jewels, but maybe you learn once you've picked it that they're all fake, and actually this one with the snake in it had a $1 million ruby at the bottom, So it's like, trust your intuition, not the appearance of things, because there is a lot of actual fertility here, but there's also a little bit of illusion. So don't get lost in illusory traps. Pick and focus on things that your intuition is drawing you to, even if you don't understand why. And don't take on too much. Don't expect everything presented to you to be what it appears to be. And just really trust your intuition and limit the amount of things you're sort of investing in, I guess you could say. All right, this is your reading. Beautiful, beautiful May for you guys. I hope it turns out in all of the beautiful ways you hope. And mostly, if anything to leave you with, is going back to this rabbit, to remember to stay, like, you need to write this on your whatever mirror you use in the morning to get dressed or something, or like an alarm on your phone that goes off at like 10 a.m. every day is like this reminder of like, am I being optimistic or fearful right now? And just keep checking in with yourself with that. All right. Happy May, and I will see you in another reading, you guys. Hello, pile 2. If this is you guys, you chose the turquoise stone and the card that says Youthful Folly. So the card in this reading for your May 2022 outlook is what I intended to be the energy of sort of the main theme in May around you, around your environment, the happenings, the circumstances, the things happening around you, different scenarios playing out, the events, that kind of thing. So this is indicating that there is a lot of youthful energy both in you and around you this month. And this is very fun and exciting, but there's also some guidance that comes in here to stay open-minded and really be willing to listen to others. Sometimes when we get into this youthful phase where we feel very energetic and very like we're growing and blossoming, we can get a little bit centered in ego, sort of like a teenager, think that we know everything, that everything's right. So this may be an energy within you this month in May, but also and or the people around you. To me, I want to say it's a little bit more of the people and scenarios around you, since this is the environment card, but we'll see. We're next going to pick your attitude card, so we'll reflect off of that to see how much this pertains to you as well. So the guidance with this, with the scenarios playing out, is a lot of patience, a lot of listening, a lot of trusting others to learn through their own trials, learn through their own errors, that if people want your guidance and advice, they will ask when they're willing and ready to listen. You can offer it, but don't force it down people's throats. Don't think you know more than them. And when others are trying to tell you things or offer guidance to you, it's worth listening, even if you decide ultimately that it's not something you want to consider or that you think is correct for you. It's worth a listen. It's worth opening those doors of dialogue, of discourse, of, just being open, and not getting a little bit centered in I know energy. Okay, so we're going to pick a card to show the mood, the general attitude, mood, perspective within yourself that you are coming into May with and working with. This card really wanted to come out, the Crow. So to me, this is definitely saying that you're more of a teacher. You do have a lot of wisdom, and there's probably a lot of slightly, if I can say it, annoying people around you this month. Not annoying people per se, but people behaving in an annoying fashion and being a little bit know-it-all-y and reckless and careless, and you're seeing yourself as very wise and experienced and mature and filled with sight and guidance. And this, to me, is saying most likely you're correct, but that doesn't mean that the productive thing to do is to hold that attitude of I know better than you and you should listen to me and I can, you will be seen as the wise person you are. And if someone really wants your guidance, they will seek it. And it's okay to offer it, but don't force it, as I've already stated. So I think that a lot of patience is going to need to be called for on your part this month, and a lot of just compassion and empathy as you watch people learn lessons the hard way, but maybe that's the way they need to learn those lessons, even if you could have maybe steered them differently. It's let people live their lives the way they need to learn the way they're gonna learn. So that's what I would say. For yourself, planning your own life, you do have a lot of sight this month. So spend as much time as you want guiding yourself and making your own plans for you. Beautiful. That's a very productive way to use your crow energy that is within you in May. Okay, we're going to look at the 4 areas of life per my perspective with that I pull from astrology. So the first one will be around your sense of self, what's driving you, what's motivating you, what are your passions, and then we'll look at home and family, which encompasses, how are you deepening into life, maturing into life, becoming a contributing human, and building the foundations that make you feel safe and stable. And then we'll look at relationships, and then at your most outer world kind of role and responsibilities, which could be career, which could be a mom that needs to shuttle all sorts of kids everywhere. It could be just a committee you're on, or a student being a student. Whatever the responsibilities and pressures on your plate in May, that's what that last category is talking to. Okay, so sense of self, what is driving you, what's motivating you, where are your impulses, how do you feel centered in yourself, not self-centered, but finding your centering. Okay, so a little bit of exhaustion, which makes sense with the crow. The crow is a very elder-related animal. So yeah, a little bit of burnout. I think you do have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. This is the Emperor card. But underneath, so a lot of times pressure is what brings a new dream, a new seed that sparks it into activation. And I think that's exactly what's going on right now. Your connection to who you see yourself as, how you're feeling motivated, your sense of passion is really at a bit of a burnout right now. You've been very busy, you've been very responsible, very active. You've held a lot on your shoulders, a lot of people depending on you, and you're just like, you've hit the wall. But under that new pressure is a new dream. And it's a fiery dream, it's a creative dream, it's a dream of having a little bit more freedom of expression, freedom of creation. And so take that seriously. Yeah, exactly. I was wondering if she would end up under the city. This is a seed under the soils, this little girl, which is in this deck, it's the page of wands. So a new seed, a new dream, a new value has been planted. And right now you are being asked to uphold your certain duties and responsibilities. It'll be interesting to see what comes into play with that career section. But your sense of self is feeling very affected by a lot of responsibility and sort of hitting a wall. And it's saying like you just have a couple more steps. You're about to be given a break, but the integrity of what you've built, of what you've worked so hard on, is requiring you to still take some thoughtful, careful, responsible steps right now. And the more you can do that and the more you can uphold the pressures on you, the more this seed that's being activated will sprout. So take those things seriously. Know that you're seen. I see you. You're exhausted. You've done a lot. You're hitting a wall. I see it. I empathize with it. One foot at a time, one step at a time. You're so close to being given a bit of a relief in that way. So just a few more steps is what I'm going to say. But your sense of self is going to come into a new, very fertile period in different, months down the line. But May is asking you to be responsible. To be responsible despite not feeling a lot of drive. So, all right, let's look at, actually I wanted to do a couple of confirmation cards too, any extra information we need about this. So we've got Knight of Wands and Six of Swords. Yeah, so keep up. You are expanding. Whatever is being asked of you right now, whatever's, feeling sort of like it's hitting a wall, it is still exciting what you're doing, and it's going to lead to a renewed hope in your future and to leading you to different and calmer shores. So just like channel a little bit of adventure, channel a little bit of boldness despite feeling like you've hit the wall. Keep going, because it's all leading to a more peaceful place. Just channel your night energy of expansion and adventurousness, and it will, you'll make it through. You'll be fine. Okay, so now we are going to look at your foundations, home, family, maturity, how you're a contributing, productive human. So we've got Six of Wands, Six of Cups, and Page of Discs. Okay. So, yeah, it's really nice energy. I don't see home, foundation, family, self-care being sort of a central feature for you this month, but things are going well here, and it's something with the exhaustion you're feeling and your drive and motivation. You should have the support of important loved ones, of a home you feel comfortable in, of values that are in a new place, but a very generative place. And this is a home, family, how you're deepening, working on your sense of soul, what's in you, your inner world, is a real beautiful sanctuary for you this month. There's beautiful, soft, kind, harmonious energy here. This feels like like soft solar energy to be found by allowing home and family and loved ones to support you, of taking advantage of self-care activities. Even people from your past, from your childhood could feel very nourishing to be around. It could be nourishing to be around little kids right now. It's a really beautiful area that can really hold you at this point. I don't think it's providing any stressors or any big action or activity, but it's a secure place while your sense of drive and motivation is, you know, needing some kind of support. This is where you'll find it. Okay, a couple of confirmation cards. Yeah, Queen of Wands. You or someone, well, let's see the second card. Page of Wands, very youthful. So either you or someone that is very, very close to you is quite outgoing in this home, family, soul area of your life, and it's cultivating a lot of beautiful harmonies, a lot of beautiful creativity, and it's generating a lot of new creative stirrings within, creative stirrings about how you want to deepen into life, how you want home and family to feel, how you want to use your actions and use your creativity to be a productive human and to be a caring and mature human. There's just like, just a lot of soft, beautiful energy here. And this, to me, having 2 court cards is confirmation. There are a lot of people around you in this realm that are very supportive right now, and that can give you, being 2 wands, that can kind of help give you a boost of energy when you need it. Okay, now let's look at relationships. I think both of these wanted to come out. Okay, a slightly tough spot here. So I think for a lot of you, there's going to be a little bit, if you're single right now, I don't think this is the time to really engage in seeking new partnerships and commitments. It's fine if you want to have fun and go on some dates, but it's not a time to find a real actual commitment person. If you are already in a relationship, for some of you, there may be, to me, this is more of a pause. I don't see this being a break up, but I do see there being a break. You might just need space from each other to contemplate. There's something down in the depths of both your heart and your mind around how you're attuning with others right now that just needs a little bit of incubation and nurturing, and you need a little bit of space, whether you perceive your relationship, if you're in one, as positive or not. There's something that needs a little bit more nourishment and nurturance that your heart and mind are ruminating or developing or gestating right now. And so, allowing yourself to have space, and it doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to mean that there's a fight or contention here. But with the 5 of Swords, there is something around, I don't know if there's been like interference with some friends. This could even be like a relationship with a friend that you're really contemplating. There's something you've either felt betrayed a little, or disappointed, or like you've perceived who they were a little incorrectly, stuck up for them maybe when you shouldn't have, but didn't know until later, something like that. There's some scenario, I feel like it really has to do with a friend. So either a friend or friends meddling in a relationship, or it could be a relationship with this friend, but that something's gestating about this. You're really ruminating about something, and you need time in May, a little bit of space, a little bit of time to let this sort of assimilate and come together and figure out what it is. Okay, let's look at some confirmation cards real quick. World, the Empress. Okay, well, that's beautiful. I think, to me, what I want to say about this is whatever you're ruminating over about a relationship, whether it's a loved one in terms of like a significant other or a friend that you've had a deep relationship with, there is something beautiful at the base of this. It's just that you need, I think, to reorient what it was, to digest, to let go of what it has been and let it rebirth into something a little easier, something a little less intense, I want to say. Something a little bit more spacious. I hope this is making sense to you guys. I think if you pick this pile, it probably does make sense. I'm trying to think of what this scenario could be, and like, I don't really know, but I think the words I've said are what need to be said. So, yeah. Something about space, something about reorienting. It is a relationship worth having in your life. There's something beautiful there. It just needs to something needs to change about it, though. You need space to figure that out. Okay, last pile or category. So I like to just generally call it career, but that could mean just whatever duties you have on your plate, student, mom duties, career, whatever that means to you. Well, just spread out a whole bunch of cards. Let's see what we've got. We'll take them. This is one more than I've done for the piles usually, but we've got all major arcanas. This is the pivotal thing on your mind this month, I believe. I just want to, one note, go back to relationships before I keep going into this career part. Taking these cards into consideration, I think that relationship stuff about being disappointed in or feeling like you've misperceived who somebody is and needing a certain space, I think it's about a certain immaturity potentially that somebody has in a relationship you have, and you need space for you to reorient to who they're showing themselves to be that you didn't quite see accurately before. But they also need space to make some mistakes outside of your guidance, to kind of attach to certain experiences for themselves without you holding their hand. I feel like you've been a real maybe mentor for somebody in a certain way, and that orientation of a relationship needs some alteration. This person needs a little bit more freedom to make the mistakes they need to make to learn in a more deep way. And I think you're having more sight of who this person is, and so maybe detaching yourself a little bit more, not cutting them out, but just reorienting and giving a little bit of space there till you figure out. But I do think at the heart of it, this person has a lot to offer and is a beautiful presence in your life. It's just, yeah, you're maybe seeing them more clearly as not as mature as they'd presented before. And that's fine. It's fun to have sort of teenagery souls in your life. But I think you need some time to process that and reorient to it a bit and figure out how to let them be you and let them be in your life in a way that is right for you, I guess is what I want to say there. Okay, moving on. Career. I really think this is the focal part of the month for May for you. And it's huge. There's magic, there's movement, you're finding your strength, and there's some sort of balancing of the scales that is coming through. I feel like you've done a lot of prep work, foundational work, preparation, I already said that, of cultivating some sort of authority, of position in your life that is really unique to you, that's really unique in the world. And it's like a stew, and a stew can taste terrible until like the very last steps when everything has stewed and all the ingredients are there. And this is what it's felt like. I think there's something in your role in the world, what you've wanted to stand out for in the world, that has taken the time as a stew would to come into fruition, to be seen and accepted for what it is, and to even know what it is in the end. And I think you're at this point and you're really ready to step into your power in a really beautiful way. Okay, let's get some confirmation cards around this. But something, I don't know, something very magical is congealing here. And it's been a long time in the coming. And that might be why you feel exhausted, and your sense of self and drive is like you've tried so hard for so long to take on something really big, and it's like it hasn't paid off. But that new seed that was under the soils it's like you've learned from trial and error, from some failures, from taking on a lot of responsibility. I think you've had a lot of experiences in life, and that new seed is directly connected to you sort of reimagining, finding a new attitude toward possibility in how to organize all this stuff about you that's wanted to express into the world. And it's coming together here. And so don't let the exhaustion get you down, because it's finally congealing. But it's at the same time, I think you've made a few stews that failed, and then you've been working on this one for some time and are scared that this one's also going to fail, but it's not. It's going to take, and it's going to be really, really bold and amazing, and so aligned exactly to who you are and what you need. You really have manifested this with some deep, powerful work. You're fully responsible for manifesting this and for creating a position in the world that's so deeply aligned to specifically who you are. And something about it is coming really quickly. Let's see what these look like all put together. Yeah, it's super alignment. That sword in the center of everything, it's just like holding it all together. It's like a spine that is, it's just holding so many aspects of you, of your desires, of the world, of your place in the world, in just such amazing alignment. It's going straight through the double horses. It's going straight through the eye of the strength tiger thing. It's got this hand holding everything inside of the circle of the dragons, the tip of the sword matching right where the dragon's mouths connect. Everything is coming into alignment in terms of your position in the world. Congratulations. Something really beautiful and magical, I think, is coming through here, and very tapped into your Cronus, your sight, your elder qualities. So congratulations, guys. Beautiful month. I do see, you know, a little bit of exhaustion in your personal drive, but, you know, and then this reorientation with some important relationship, but the other area, you know, career and your home, family, soul foundation are just really beautiful. So those are, I think, where the focuses are going to be. And also just letting people make their own mistakes and you're not responsible for them. So, okay, that's where I'm going to leave your May reading, and I will see you in another reading. Definitely give us a thumbs up if you connected with this, and a subscribe if you are not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your May outlook. If you came to this pile, it's because you chose the flower agate, and is it flower agate or flower jasper? All of a sudden my mind has gone blank. Anyway, beautiful flower stone. And the card you then also picked was Gathering Together. And this card in this reading is intended to signify sort of the outer world environment, the circumstances. Generally, if you were to look back on May after it's over and say, yeah, the events of May had this tone, this is what it would be. So the circumstances, the events, the environment that was around you in May. So gathering together is a lot about group energy and being part of movements and causes, and the power that each individual holds, how that gets amplified within a group, and so how powerful group energy is in instilling change and empowering certain things. But it comes with a warning too, that it's really easy when swept up into group movements to lose your kind of, I don't quite want to say moral center, circumstantial moral center, I guess it might be more appropriate. Like, not that anyone in this reading would do this, but a lot of times you'll see movements and protests in the streets happen, even if they intend to be peaceful. There's always some action that takes place, and a group of people rush a store to loot it, and maybe you're next to the door and you kind of get swept in and everyone's doing it and you just fall in. I mean, I think maybe that's a bad example because I don't think most people do that, but it's easy when lots of people are doing something to more easily find yourself doing it, even if it doesn't have to do with the movement, or maybe the cause swings too far on a pendulum and you go, you know, it goes too far somehow. There's that caution to continue to find your center throughout the month so that you don't lose sort of your compass of right and wrong, I guess you could say, or get swept into doing something you wouldn't have done if it weren't with a group that could come back to haunt you a bit. So just a little warning there, but such a beautiful thing to be a part of, because that group energy really can make huge and lasting change that's needed. I think like one more collective way of looking, you know, that I could show an example of where something might go too far is like, you know, like the Me Too movement. Absolutely needed, such an important movement to have happen. We need to listen more and take women more seriously when there's allegations. But when cancel culture comes in and convicts people based only on an accusation, you have a huge failing of society that happens, and a lot of casualties that don't deserve that, you know. So like a step too far is canceling someone based only on an accusation. That's an example of what this is talking about. It should be believe enough to investigate. I am listening and I believe that this needs investigation, not I am listening and there is a conviction because of what I heard, you know? Sorry, off my little pedestal here, but that is an example that comes to mind that I think is quite relevant right now. Okay, so we're going to pull an animal card to show the energy within you this month, where your mood is, where your attitude is, so how that might relate to the circumstances around you and how you're relating to being part of some sort of group energy that is pronounced. So the fish. So definitely what I was saying, like you really need to give yourself some good alone time to find your center, to find your individuality, so you know what choices you're making at any moment and whether they're choices you would make despite there being group backing of something, because the fish is very fluid, very go with the flow, can really get swept up in the currents. And so it is a warning that there's a lot of impressionability here with this group energy, and that it is definitely worth finding time and ways to connect to your center and what you want and who you are, so that you know when you're swept into something, you're not going to make decisions you're going to regret down the road. Okay. That being said, we are now going to look at the 4 cardinal directions of life per Cosmo Muse, which are self, your sense of self, which is, I equate to what's driving you, what's motivating you, where your passions are, where your sense of self is, which I think is going to be really important to be connected to this month. And then we're going to look at the foundations of your life: home, family, soul work, self-care, nourishment, what makes you mature and productive, a contributing human. And then we'll look at relationships, and then at career, or whatever your responsibilities are in the world right now. Okay, so sense of self, what is motivating you? Where is your drive coming from? How do you feel in your energy generally this month? Okay, so I feel like you are absolutely feeling driven to be responsible for, to show your sense of command of and authority in sort of the powers of the world. There's something very powerful, some resource element. It could be the war that's currently happening, that something takes place that really hits your sense of some power abuse. I don't know what it is, but there's some sense of power in the world that sparks your own sense of power and wanting to stand up for the proper management and application of power in the world. There are some, I actually want to put this here. I think I'm of course going to read this probably more dramatically than it will actually manifest for the majority of you. But there is like a whistleblower element here, someone who's brought back information from being behind the scenes or from unmasking certain ways society and the group. There's so much group energy in this too. Bring back information about the ways society has been made to very narrowly see a certain reality that has been very masked, and something's being unmasked here, and it's really putting a bee in your bonnet. I think you're seeing power abuses, and it's driving you to want to share in the world or be part of a movement that's sharing the way power needs to be managed in this thing that's being unmasked. The thing, and where I've already warned with this fish energy, not everything is as it appears. So even the unmasking, this is very slippery energy, you guys. Even the things that are being unmasked, you need to question how it's being unmasked, who's unmasking. There's still some things that are, each side is not fully, not each side is fully unmasked. So you need to be really careful here. You need to do your own investigative work. You really need to be connected to your own sense of center. You need to listen to many, many sides and make up your own mind outside of being swept into a group thing. But that being said, you're feeling very driven and you have a voice and a certain command that can be useful for the group. You just need to make sure that you're lending it to the correct things that align with what you actually want, and really do your due diligence on research. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I just don't think everything is as it appears on any side of what's going on here. But yeah, this makes me wonder if something big is going to happen in May, because this feels like group energy to a degree that is very apparent in society. The other readings haven't picked up on that necessarily, but yeah, I don't know. It does make me wonder. Okay, let's get a few confirmation cards. The Hanged Man. Yeah. This is, again, you need to go back to your roots. You need to decide what you feel is important foundationally about the values you were raised with, but to examine those values. Did they become normalized in you appropriately? Have you changed certain enculturated values from your childhood? You need to sort of examine your childhood, your value norms, your just general norms that I think on a big scale has been normalized, on a massive scale that's been normalized. It's like you really need to do your due diligence to see things from a different perspective, to challenge your own perceptions, your own values, where you're getting information from, the perspectives and perceptions of those sources. Like, it's a lot of, and it doesn't surprise me with the Mercury retrograde this month starting on the 10th, a lot of recalibration here of, to me, what power means, what you normalized about power. Something's really charged up in you, but you need to take some time before you act, to think this through, to examine things, to examine your own self, to examine sources. Yeah, it's a little bit slippery, but you're feeling very charged about it. So just take your time is what I'm saying. Be proactive, be active about this, but be thorough, do your due diligence, and yeah. Okay, so now we're going to look at home and family and what makes you feel like a sense of, how does your sense of security feel? How does your sense of productivity feel? We got the Hanged Man again. Wow. Ooh, that's nice. Hold on. One more. Okay. Well, I think you're walking away from a more comfortable life. Eee. That's not going to hit for everybody, but for some of you, you're rethinking. I'm referring back to that self house we just left. I think there's a connection to resources and what's really charging you up, and you're really reflecting on where your resources have come from, the kind of comfort you've built in your own life, the meaning of that, how it was built, what it was built upon. And I think you're seeing something shaky about it that you're no longer connecting to. So this isn't necessarily like you're walking away from wealth, but you're walking away from the way you have previously made wealth. I definitely have the opinion that if someone knows how to create wealth, they can do it in a multitude of ways. And I think that you're starting to see maybe the way that you have been doing it is not something you any longer connect with, and you're walking away from it. And I don't think it means that you're walking away from a comfortable life per se, but you're walking away from creating that the way you have previously been creating it and looking for a more aligned way to deal with wealth and resources. But there's something about your foundations, about your home and family, your how wealth was established, cultivated, used as a foundation, and maybe learning that there's other things that can create a foundation, not just the material realm. Maybe you're seeing that more feeling secure in life may have a little bit more to do with your heart now than finances. Yeah, let's get some confirmation cards, but I think you're really adjusting and rethinking what security means to you and what being productive means to you. Okay, so a good portion of the month you're going to feel a little bit trapped by this. It doesn't surprise me with the Hanged Man. Take small bites. You're really trying to digest some big concept, some big change, some big value that's reorienting in your life, that you're seeing in a different way. And that's no small thing. So take off little bites instead of seeing the whole picture and feeling a swell of like guilt. There's no reason to feel guilt or shame or anything. Like whatever you're walking away from, it was something that you were taught, and you can't be blamed for that. And it feels very big, and you don't know where to start. And this is just saying, take one step at a time, chew one bite at a time. Don't take on the whole big picture at once. That will paralyze you. But by the end of the month, I think some things will assimilate better for you, and you're going to know what you're walking towards, not just what you're walking away from. And that's where the paralysis is. I think early in the month, you feel the need to walk away from something, but you don't know what you're walking toward. By the end of the month, I think you know what you're walking toward. Again, this is in relation to what makes you feel safe, sound, secure, like you have a foundation, connected to your soul. And I think it's shifting from matter to heart in a big way. So yeah, big work. Man, this pile is really doing some big work this month, you guys. Give yourself some credit. Be patient. When you're processing big things, just, don't beat yourself up. Just one thing at a time. Things will find the clarity eventually, but it will happen more quickly the more you can just take one small step after another. Okay, relationships. Yeah, I mean, nothing too dramatic in relationships, which is good to see. I think you guys need some support. You may perceive a little bit of like jousting with a partner or with competitors. You may feel a sense of some competitors around you right this month. And it's a little bit more jousty than real confrontational type of stuff. Some debate. I see a little bit of debate going on, yeah, with the two of, yeah, debating things about the material, debating things about structures and society and the constructs. Keep it fun. This can be really productive energy, and I would say listen to your debate sparring partners. Establish good dialogue, establish good debate protocol of, giving each other time to make points and, and listen. There's always something to learn, even from a totally opposed point of view. But I also think at the same time with relationships, not only are you finding some good jousting partners, but I think you're also finding real deep, this feels more friendshipy to me. I don't think there's too much going on in terms of like love relationships here. This feels more friend relationships. I think you're finding some good sparring partners in friendships, that there's a lot of good productive debate. It can be productive anyway. And I think you're also finding deep alignments with some people, with potentially even new relationships, new friends coming in due to whatever this big stir up is. You definitely caught up in something big this month. The Lovers, yeah. This has so much to do with you finding your own alignments. So the more you're finding contention and jousting partners outside of you, that's an indication of the more you need to find inner alignments and resolve conflicts within you. And Six of Wands. So yeah, so do some work on inner tensions, lean into your inner tensions, joust with yourself, using others to spar off of, by also just like really listening deeply can help you even to see your own inner tensions in different ways. Really use it as productive energy. But yeah, definitely some tensions going on, but that can really help you to resolve your own inner tensions. And by the end of the month, I think you're really going to feel victorious in your relationships, like you've found really great alignments and really great competitors that you respect and that make you think, but I think you're going to feel a sense of victory over figuring out some of your inner tensions and figuring out some of your tensions with others, and really finding some deeper friendships that are, arising out of whatever the environment is. This group energy, I think, really has shown through on every pile or every category so far. Okay, last pile. Let's look at career, responsibilities, position in the world. Well, 4, we'll take them. Slippery cards. So, Judgment, Devil, 5 of Coins. Okay, so yeah, you are really every category I feel like has so been related to each other. Like sometimes these categories feel very contained and compartmentalized, and sometimes they're just flooding over into each other, and that's how this reading is. You pile 3, all of your categories of life feel like they're kind of being affected by the same thing and stirred up by the same thing. It's like a very big calibration taking place. So some big judgment is coming through, some new way of seeing something, and it's bringing an awareness to attachments you've had to the material side of life, and maybe attachments you've had to a certain status of position. And you're really rising like the phoenix, really seeing this in a new light, able to renovate how you think about this, and finding much deeper purpose and much deeper alignment with your soul by moving into things that feel right in your heart rather than that look right around expectations that have been held in your life. You're definitely going through a rewiring or a calibration, confronting certain values you've held. You're being made to kind of turn inward, to look at life a little bit more spiritually in terms of your position in the world, and really alter your values to come more from heart, to come more from community, to come more from feeling connected to people and things that are meaningful to you. So it's, just a lot of recalibration going on this month for you guys. Like, it really feels like you're totally reorienting something big about something that a huge part of your life that was normalized a certain way that you're now tipping up, it's been tipped upside down, I think, by a group movement, but maybe just something that triggered it. Who knows? Maybe it's a smaller group movement. Maybe you got plugged into a new group of people that have really shifted, or a new type of community that's really shifted how you're seeing your life and your norms about how to be in the world, what's important in life. I feel like you're having an existential crisis, to be honest. Okay. Yeah. But this is so beautiful. I really do think, it's okay to, we have a hidden card here. It's okay to look back on life a little and feel some sorrow, especially if we're leaving certain things behind. But don't linger there. I think there's going to be some disappointment about something you're leaving behind. But the future, when you look forward, you're really taking on this Queen of Cups persona in the future, and it's so much more aligned to who you are and what you should be. And it doesn't matter what gender you are. The Queen energy is about being the center of gravity in something, the center of a community, the center of hive activity. So it might be owning a business in community, being a figure in community, but you really are a center of gravity that gets that has an outgoing nature, that gets people productive and busy and working and aligned. It's very energy that brings alliances and alignments and productivity, and it's bringing a lot of beautiful harmony to an emotional realm of this. So you're really connecting, you have this potential to really connect to community heart, community emotion, community movement, and bring a lot of harmony. So whatever you're looking back on, whatever you're leaving, just know that the future is gorgeous. And so don't linger too long on the looking back. It's okay to, you know, if there's something you've given a lot of yourself to, it's okay to process that and to really get to a point of, you know, sometimes it takes us a minute to really build up the courage or get that coherent signal of, yes, it's time to move on. And I think it's coming this month. I think you've already been in transition. I think you're coming into May already sort of in this thing of like looking back and deciding like, am I trying to rebuild something that was really disappointed, trying to get myself back into this area of, you know, I think for a lot of you, you've left a job or an industry and you're just kind of like, do I rebuild myself in this? I don't think it made me happy, but, you know, it gave so much. But just know that your talents, your authority, whatever you've built is transferring over to another area that's so much more aligned to you and so much more beautiful and fertile. So, yeah, that's where I want to leave you guys. Definitely so far the pile that has some challenges, but some really beautiful, I would say, transformations and reorientation taking place. Really big work, but really, really beautiful. Not going to sugarcoat it, tough, but by the end of May, hopefully coming to a place of seeing the beauty of where you're going, what you're connected to. I think doing your best to get some alone time to, you know, keep centered within you so you don't get too swept into things you're not fully in the know about. Yeah, so okay. I really think by the end of May though, like you're going to be in a really gorgeous place or toward, you know, oriented to a gorgeous direction. So, all right, happy May. Definitely, if this resonated with you, I love hearing in the comments, and thumbs up is always nice as well. And I will see you guys in another reading. Hello, pile 4. If this is you guys, you picked the beautiful Sunstone and the card Gentle Penetration. So this reading for your May 2022 outlook, this card is meant to represent sort of the environment around you in May. If you were to look back at May once it was over and say this is sort of the main theme of what the environment felt like, the circumstances, the events, etc., this is what the card would represent. So gentle penetration has a lot to do with, there's a current moving through your life right now that you just need to sort of submit into and take life in a way that's sort of the path of least resistance. Things are happening slowly but cumulatively, and it's blowing you towards something very prosperous, very beautiful, but you just need to be easy with it. If you try to force or push things this month, I think you'll be met with a little bit of a backlash. So this is really talking about noticing subtlety, noticing nuance, being gentle, paying attention to where signs and synchronicities are sort of pushing you. Notice things that pop up that interest you and just kind of follow the breadcrumbs kind of thing. So yeah, so I think May, circumstances around you are very sort of angelic to me. That's the feeling I'm getting. I think there's some angels around you and they're creating a gentle path forward to something, kind of trying to nudge you little by little by little onto some path that is really beautiful and meant for you, but it's like you need a little bit of gentle coaxing or something. And so relax into the month. That's, I think, what we're getting here. Let the universe talk. listen and yeah, follow those little breadcrumbs. I think there will be not a lot of big events, but a lot of little meaningful moments that keep aligning you and aligning you and aligning you, sort of like a chiropractor, like, yeah, just pushing you into your right space, right? I don't know what it's about specifically, right path to something. Okay, so we're going to look at the attitude, your mood, generally you're coming into the month with, so how these two things might align. You know, if you were to get a shark, this might be hard energy for you to tap into, but okay, 3 animals came out. I'm usually doing 1, but I don't know, I feel like taking them. Yeah, and I love this butterfly. Butterflies definitely know how to catch a gentle breeze. The peacock is a little bit about show, but can really assimilate things in a beautiful way. So knowing, you know, paying attention to when you're shaking your tail feathers and really being like having a lot of awareness of what you're needing to assimilate. I think you're in a spot internally about really witnessing life and assimilating all the things that you're seeing. There's a lot of, you know, in this card in particular, I feel like these are many eyes. You have a lot of open eyes, a lot of awareness, a lot of ability to pick up on this nuance. And then I love this horse card, which to me, the way I'm reading this is like a wild horse. So whereas like a very domesticated, trained horse might be a little bit more forceful, or you might be in like wanting to control powerful forward movement, the wild horse kind of does go with the flow. It taps into where that breeze is going and it follows it. So it's like, to me, this is like tap into your passions, notice where impulse wants to take you, have a lot of awareness, and, you know, assimilate things as they come in, and be light like the butterfly, and you know, both like the peacock and the butterfly kind of show your colors. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful energy here. Okay, let's see how I like to keep these cards out for the whole reading to refer back to, but we'll see if I can fit them all. I've got a little room there. Okay. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay, so now we're going to look at the 4 directions of your life for May, and to me, my categorization of those 4 directions, the cardinal directions, is your sense of self, sort of what's driving you and motivating you, your sense of depth, so home, family, what brings you security, what kind of maturity are you holding in productivity, and then relationships is the 3rd category, and career or studenthood or motherhood, whatever your role in the world is currently, look at that as well. Okay, so starting with your sense of self, what's driving you, what's motivating you, how do you feel centered, how are you even connected to yourself this month? These cards are so slippery, just warning. Once again, cards are just flying out for your pile. It's so interesting. Okay, so there's a lot of youthful energy in your sense of self. I think you're reconnecting sort of to a childlike wonder inside of yourself, finding a lot of expansive and bold energy about how to feel worthy of like maybe a raise or conquering new things in your life, making your physical surroundings more interesting and exciting, but just some beautiful young emotions, vital, fertile emotions coming out of you as well. And then this moon energy here is definitely, to me, this can indicate some confusion around your sense of self, but I really want to relate this back to this gentle penetration. As I was saying, I think This is indicating that it's okay for you to not exactly know where your impulses and where these signs are leading you right now. I don't think you're supposed to know. And to, you know, I think you're in a place where you're willing and accepting of sort of letting go of a really specific target and drive, and just sort of being gently prodded along by the breadcrumbs being left for you, and just allowing something bigger than you to kind of steer your ship this month. And it's just bringing a gentle, easy feeling. That's what I'm getting. It's just sort of relaxing and trusting and being okay with not knowing exactly where you're going, but trusting all these little signs that come through that feel very exciting and enlivening and fresh and young and new. King of Cups, okay. And Five of Wands. So I think deep down inside of you, you do have a regal, commanding essence to you. And you have a fighting spirit. You know how to win. You know how to put up plans of fortitude. And I think what's going on here is this is just saying you sort of need to be gentle about this month. I think you like to know where you're going, what your plan is, where you're headed, and you're just not going to know this month. And so it's just saying here to these aspects of you that you feel so identified with to just relax. Things will be okay. Allow life to be just like a little bit more whimsical, soft, youthful, and gentle this month. And to lean into a side of yourself that's more easy. I think you have a little bit more of a fighting spirit than the energies of the month are indicating. And it's just saying, be patient, have a little bit of fun. That's what I'm going to say here. Be patient with yourself for wanting to have fun. I think that's the message. I think you want to have the fun. I think you want to have it easy. And I think there's a part of yourself that doesn't know how to let yourself do that. And so this is me saying, give yourself permission. That's what's in the cards for you. So embrace it. Okay, let's look at home and family and how you are nurturing life in May. What kind of nurturing's needed? Where is your soul? How are you connected to a sense of maturity? Okay. So you definitely have a skill that you are fine-tuning, that you're working on, that's really making you feel a deeper connection to life. And I think there's people, whether it's family or people that feel close enough like they are family, and it could even be in your work scenario, you are being potentially given some resources. It could be money, it could be other things, but you're being given some resources to either freshen up your home, something that pertains to a sense of security or stability in your life. Maybe you need like rent covered for a month and someone's willing to do that, or money for a course that you're really trying to deepen in yourself to build a skill. I do see also that there's a little bit of a stress on you, like you're carrying a lot down in the foundations of your life. Maybe you're carrying for a lot of people or feel responsible for a lot of people's security. What I would say is people want to support you right now, so be open to receiving, be open to, I don't think you're the type of person, having seen the king in your self-center, that knows how to receive well. I think you're more used to being a provider. But right now, you need to turn on your receptive mode, because people want to give things to you or to support you in some way. And it seems as if you do need it, and it will really foundationally help you build some kind of skill that is natural in you, but is refining. Yeah, so just be open to allowing others to support you for once, or for now, for this month. There is a sense of some kind of support coming through here, and so just needing to be gracious and accepting of support being offered. Okay, let's get some confirmation cards. Oh, actually, I like to look at, I don't know if I've been doing this. I like to, yeah, you're holding a lot. You're trying to build a skill, but at the highest level, people are here to help you, and it's like you need to take a step to accept that. You haven't quite stepped into, I kind of see you as this and this, and it's sort of like you need to take a step towards allowing people to be supportive of you. It's being offered, and you need to take the step. It's not going to come without you taking the step, but you need it, and so you need to take that step. So I'm telling you. Yeah, there's been maybe a disappointment in some of the people you've supported in the past. I think some people are walking away right now from the support you've given them, and it might be frustrating, like you've shouldered a lot to help certain people and they're not really appreciative, and they're walking away, and it's time for you to step towards people who support you rather than you kind of supporting others. And by doing this skill you have and the people you start allowing to come into your life that are more givers, there's important teamworks coming together in terms of whether it's soul family or real family, work family, but like some really beautiful assimilations and congealing of people that are going to start coming together for you in terms of how you're feeling productive, how you're outputting in the world, feeling like a contributor. There's some beautiful synergy coming in here, but it's time to step away from people and things and people specifically that you've felt like you've had to nurture, that haven't been appreciative of your nurturing and that you've shouldered a lot for. It's time to step away from that and to really step into teamwork, step into foundations in your life, with family, soul family, work family, that are really productive units, that everyone's contributing and everyone knows their role and everyone's helping everyone. I see that coming in. It's really, really cool. So I think that's exciting. course, there's like maybe a little bitterness there about some past things, but look towards the future with that. I think gently you're being nudged away from and toward, away from takers and toward givers. Okay, let's look at your relationships. Beautiful. King of Wands. High Priestess. And the Lovers. Beautiful. So 2 major arcana here. This could be an important aspect of this month for you. I think there's someone around you who is very intuitive and very wise. I see you a little bit more as this king energy, whatever gender you are, of like really, again, it's like you're this provider energy. So even within love relationships, more than like family dynamic relationships, more of like love relationships, or like really important one-on-one relationships that are more about a balance of things. So you have a creative energy that's very responsible, that's very caring and watchful, but also like very creative, like really knowing how to take charge of things creatively in relationships and hold strong foundations and visions for that. But there's also someone around you that's very intuitive, that's going to be really important for you this month, where like a merging of hearts is really on fire, is really alive. But it's this gentle thing. It's like you really need to be very aware with all these eyes of the peacock of this person, of this very intuitive person, because I think they're quiet and gentle, but they're offering something incredibly beautiful from the heart that is really aligning you guys in a much more spiritual way than you've been aligned in. So if you're in a relationship, this is sort of like a new layer being found that you're being nudged toward, that's much more intimate and much more caring and much deeper. If you are single, I think you need to be very aware of the interest around you, and you might be surprised by sort of the dark horse, the underdog, someone you hadn't considered before or even really noticed, but suddenly, totally, because look, the horse, the crescent moon, so we could turn this way, the crescent moon. Yeah, there's a dark horse waiting for you in a relationship if you're single, someone you haven't considered, someone who's quiet but very intuitive, and all of a sudden you're becoming aware of this person and seeing them with completely new eyes, how beautifully aligned they are for you and what they have to offer, and you're just kind of blown away, like, how did I not see this before? Or it might be a kind of person, maybe it's not a specific other, but maybe it's a type of person you're starting to like looking at more gentle people in a different way and finding a new value and depth and alignment with more intuitive types of people. Okay, let's get some confirmation cards. Oh, interesting. So we have strength and we have death. Yeah, I think you're finding a totally new alignment within yourself. I think you're seeing yourself in terms of your relational qualities in a new, profound way. You're finding your own intuitive strengths within your creative strengths, which is opening your eyes in a different way. And it's sort of like a death to an old way of relating to people, and just a really, really deep empowerment coming through. We've got the horse again, just a deep empowerment coming through in terms of really having witnessed something. I think you're really seeing to the core, to the heart of how you've related to people, and you're letting a softer aspect of you come forward. Hence, you're seeing softer people in a different way, and there's this transformative feeling around this, slightly erotic even, around how you're seeing a different type of person, or category of person or specific person, that you're just, it's just like it's transformed you. But just know that it's come because you've transformed within yourself. Hence, you're just seeing differently, but it feels transformative. It's gorgeous. Yeah, there's something really, really special waiting for you in relationships. Okay, let's look at the last category of career or responsibility. So, like maybe you're a mom that's shuttling kids around everywhere. Maybe you're someone who serves on committees. Maybe you're a professional with a business role, or maybe you're a student. Whatever your kind of like duties or responsibilities in the outer world are, this is what it's relating to. Okay. Okay. There is some paralysis right now in terms of your role. I don't know if you've taken something on that you're feeling overwhelmed by, something a little bit too big for what you're capable of holding, or if you're looking, if you're applying to a school or looking for a new job or taking on some new role of some sort, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by the scope of it and like you've gotten in over your head or something. Whatever's going on here, it's all in your head and you're paralyzed by it. And it's like you need to soften into, where is the current taking you? Don't think about the whole scope of whatever this is in your position in the world or your responsibilities. Take one step at a time. Watch for those breadcrumbs. If you think about the whole scope of it, you're never going to take a step. You're going to be paralyzed. But if you listen to those messages, keep your awareness open, watching for where that current is trying to blow you, and just do one step at a time, your mind will relax around this, and you'll see that it's only in your head that you're in over your head. It's only in your mind that you're in over your head. And you'll start to ease onto this path. Maybe this is what this gentle penetration is referring to in terms of like leading you towards, some sort of beautiful, plentiful path for you. But there's like a gentle, I think if someone came and was like, get out of your head, you're thinking too much about this, and no, like that's not gonna help you. What's gonna help you is, I'm just saying, watch for the soft, gentle, subtle signs and keep stepping towards where you're being nudged. And eventually you will move out of this mind trap that is an illusion, it's not real, towards seeing how capable and bountiful you are, and feeling very stable and very comprehensive and coherent in this role. and then suddenly finding that you have so much to give to it, and it to give to you, and this symbiotic flowing of giving, this position giving to you, you giving to it, both giving to the world. It's, yeah. So you're going to start the month in a bit of a paralysis around whatever your role is, and you're going to end up in just like a very beautiful, fluid, giving well of creative energy here. Yeah, so it's gorgeous. Let's see what these look like together. Yeah, this currently your mind is blocking you from seeing the potential you've got here. But as you keep taking steps towards these drips you're being shown, this cup person will kind of spiral up to the top, and this sword energy will sink, will dissolve. So it's going to flip by the end of the month. So we'll see that happen. So, okay, let's look at a couple of confirmation cards about this to end your reading. Yeah. You're feeling really overwhelmed. You're carrying a lot, but it's again, I think that, you know, there's something in you. You have this king energy. You really are a provider. You shoulder a lot. It's time to sort of allow and trust other people to do their jobs. Yeah, you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You're feeling, it's like there's a big vision that has taken so much out of you, and you're in the final steps, but like because this has just taken a lot out of you, there's some confusion coming in, some unclarity of if you even want to take the last steps. And it's just saying, hang in there, pay attention to the gentle signs that are nudging you. It's like you're carrying so much, you can't see where the last few steps need to be taken. Like, where's the finish line? Is it here? Is it here? Is it, you know, like, where is it? I can't see anymore because I'm holding so much. So you're a little bit confused. And it's saying to trust when you feel those little pushes, when you feel those little signs, that's guiding you in the right way, and you are almost to some sort of finish line. And once you're there, it's sort of like this fountain of just joy and beauty and heart alignment awaits. Like, you're almost there. Just stick with it, really be aware and pay attention to the little signs, because it's really hard for you to see the right steps at this point. So just like really trust these unseen things that are pushing and trying to guide you. All right, that is where I'm going to leave your May, and I wish you guys a beautiful month with both Taurus and Gemini kind of ruling the solar flares. If this connected with you, I always love hearing in the comments, and I've loved those thumbs up. That helps with my little new channel algorithm. And I will see you guys in another reading. All right.